Hello, friends, and welcome to the space where we discuss business, landscaping, beer, and everything in between. I'm your host, Heather Gerard from My Landscape Artist here in London, Ontario, Canada. And this is Season 2 of Hops and Hedges. Stay tuned after each episode for a message from our sponsor, ext.tech. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now crack open a cold one, and let's dig in. There you go. We are now recording with me today, special guest John Bright, who is he's in design and sales for TLC Landscaping in London, Ontario, and also a fellow graduate of Fanshawe College. So John, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We've kind of known each other in like circles that didn't quite cross paths at Fanshawe, but you graduated, I think, a year ahead of me.
Yeah, I was a year ahead. I think we may have crossed paths a little bit for some random things at Fanshawe, but
yeah,
we're really in the same circles or anything like that because it's kind of divided when you're there. It's like you're in year what? You're in year 1 or 2. All right, you stay in like
you stay with that group.
You stay in your zones. So yeah, we didn't really cross paths too much, but yeah.
I did notice on your questionnaire, I always like to ask guests about their mentors or people who have really kind of helped them along the way. Mm-hmm. And it was so nice seeing that you've listed some of the instructors that I had as well, right? So
yeah, I figured that you would have been taught by the same kind of people that I was. I know there's a bit of a change of the guard there now compared to when we were there, but yeah, Andrew, Corinne, Sarah, they were kind of like the staples, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. And shout out to you all if you are tuning in. I also consider them my mentors. I feel so lucky that I don't know how many people go to school, and there's like a divide also between the students and the instructors. It's kind of like a clock in, clock out, do your thing. And with the instructors at Fanshawe, I just felt like they really took their job seriously, and they really helped us push us along, you know.
Yeah, they definitely they care.
Yeah. And they work in the profession. So a lot of them are landscape architects or designers, or they work at nurseries or whichever. So
yeah, they're definitely involved, which is good.
And I remember, I think there was a design competition, which is the first time that I saw your work. So we were both students at Fanshawe, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. And I saw one of your design, it was probably a charrette of some kind, but one of your design posters up. And that's when I first saw your name up in the hallway or whatever at Fanshawe. I'm like, man, who is this guy? Like, these are good. Like, these are really good. And it's been so cool just being somebody, again, who's not in your circle and not knowing you necessarily directly, but seeing how your designs have changed and how it's evolved. And I'm just a big fan, I gotta say. Like, you're really, really cool visualizations. And so are you primarily using SketchUp then? And then do you have plugins that you use, or what's the software? How do you create these awesome stuff?
So I'm a bit of as of a year ago, I'm no longer a dinosaur, but I was a dinosaur for most of my career.
Okay. And how do you what means dinosaur?
Dinosaur to me is like, well, when we were in Fanshawe, you would have been taught the same rendering program that I would have been. Maybe they were teaching you a little bit more different stuff, but
it's SketchUp and Dynascape were the
SketchUp, like we got taught Dynascape really quickly, and then it was like go to CAD. And just CAD. And then after that it was SketchUp, and they taught you SketchUp a little bit, but it was kind of fend for yourself. And then the plug-in there at the time was Twilight Render.
Yep.
And that was pretty much it.
Right.
I used Twilight Render from when I first knew about it, which was in 2013 or something, or 2012.
Yep.
When they first showed us that, to 2024.
Okay. Yeah.
I used that for everything. And then I changed to Enscape last year.
Enscape? Is that E-N?
Yeah. Enscape.
I've actually not heard of this software. at all.
So
This is new to me.
I would still like do like hand renderings and sketches like that. I still do that like
Yeah.
in the design process, but I don't normally do that for like presentations anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But like the 3D rendering, yeah, it's just kind of gone to I think I took Twilight to the absolute limits
Yeah.
that I could. And then yeah, I took it and found Enscape and it's like, okay, let's try this. And it's the easiest thing ever. Like Twilight, it felt like you had to really know how to actually like edit things and
Right.
use the program.
Mm-hmm.
Enscape, like it's like Lumion. Like you can just like pop it up and oh, there's a great image already. You don't even have to do much to it.
Right. I was actually just going to mention Lunium because for me too, I remember kind of using it very briefly, but I think so that's one of the plugins, right, that you can get.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think when I was looking at it, isn't it like a $4,000 plugin or something stupid?
Yeah, it's crazy
It's
expensive.
crazy. Yeah.
So it's like 4 or 5 grand for the year.
Wow.
It's not even a one-time purchase.
Yeah.
My understanding. I mean, if you can do it one time, then that's not terrible. But
Yeah.
Enscape is like, I think you can do monthly if you want, so you can just cancel anytime, or you do a yearly thing, and it's
By the
like
year.
$100 for the year,
Wow.
which is pretty reasonable for the images that you can get out of it.
Yeah.
Especially compared to the Twilight render. There's no knock on Twilight, but it's just kind of it's ancient now in my
Yeah.
opinion. But it's only $100 one time, so I mean you get what
Wow.
you pay for in that sense. So like it worked for what I was doing, and then yeah, I was just
Time
getting
to evolve.
I was getting jealous of everybody else's renderings, going, well, how are you guys doing this? Because like I'm stuck using this little program. Like
Yeah.
there's gotta be something else out there that's reasonable. So yeah,
Right.
got that. Yeah, I've messed around with it a little bit more, but it's very easy to use.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to be checking that out because it's funny. So for me, I'm such a SketchUp girl, like through and through. I've got the books, I've got the tutorials. I subscribe to their YouTube channel. Like I eat it up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't deter the program from crashing.
Yeah.
Like you can add the layers and you can turn layers off, but it's still like it just can't keep up with what I want to do. So it's time. That's where I'm like, okay, it's time for change.
So how do you use SketchUp then? Like
I was probably using it on a really shitty laptop. That was probably my problem.
Okay.
But now I've recently upgraded. I'm actually on an Asus Rogue now. So this is day 3 of having it.
Sounds very fancy.
It's pretty badass. Yeah. It's like a gamer's laptop.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You have no problem running these programs. I'm running on a Dell, like basic Dell laptop, and it runs just fine.
Okay.
But I was curious about your SketchUp models themselves, if they're crashing all the time, like how you're actually using the
probably wrong.
The software. So like
there's something.
Some of my models they can get really complicated just because there's so many.
Yeah, you never had a problem
happening in them, depending on the property. And then there's like simple properties that are super small. This is just interesting just to hear like, okay, you're still getting like to crash or bug splat.
Bug splat.
Right?
Yes.
Bug splat on the screen. And it's like, oh, did I save? Did I put the autosave on every 5 minutes or whatever it is?
Mm-hmm. I remember those nights at Fanshawe doing the all-nighters for the shred or the design competition.
Yeah.
And you're like working 4 hours on a Fanshawe computer that's already out of memory. And you're trying to push it to get a render, and then everything shuts down.
You take up a bank of computers. You take up like 6 computers. And you're like, all right, sign on to
work on a render.
These are all mine. I'm rendering 6 things at once.
Oh man.
Yeah, the render time with this is also like 10 seconds.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm going to be looking that up.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's turned into like an Enscape commercial, but it's
brought to you in part by Enscape, but not really. So if you are from Enscape and you want to sponsor the show, let me know. $1 million.
Yeah.
So I Well, we've established like we kind of know each other because through Fanshawe, but for people who don't know you, can you kind of give us the lowdown? Who are you and what is it that you do at TLC?
Oh, that's such a pressure question.
You
Who
got this.
am I?
Who are you, John? Who are you?
I'm a landscape designer through and through.
Through and
That's
through.
that's really what it is.
Mhm.
For what I do at TLC, I'm in the design build area or sector division. Um, yeah, one of the two guys that designed there and does sales, and
Nice.
it's when you look at it really basic, that's what it is. You design and sell.
Yep.
So that's pretty much what it is.
It's
There's
funny
not.
though how often the designers wear that hat, right? We have a certain vocabulary that we use. We are so comfortable in selling these ideas to homeowners or contractors that can't even they can't even see the vision yet. We have to sell it before it's, you know?
Yeah, sometimes you have to like working in design build, you also have to sell it to the build team first
Yep.
before you can sell it to the client because you got to make sure that they're on board with what
Mm-hmm.
your crazy ideas that they
Yep.
can do it or that they're confident in doing it, and then you can okay make sure all right we can do it, so let's get it out the door, and then you got to sell it to the client itself themselves.
Right.
That's a whole other beast.
Oh
Sales,
yes.
that's what they don't teach you in school is sales.
Oh yes.
That is certainly something that they don't teach you. Yeah,
I feel like that could be a whole podcast episode of things that they don't teach you in school.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
know,
could go
it's
I
like,
could go for a while on what they don't actually teach you compared to what you need to know in real life or
yeah,
in the real working world. Yeah,
absolutely. I think I'll have to bring you back for a part two and we'll
yeah,
dig into the things that they should have taught you, but
yeah,
they don't. And even
yeah,
as early as elementary school, like there are things that why are we
oh,
learning this in elementary and high school,
yeah,
but we don't know how to make a car payment or
yeah,
vote.
yeah,
But we're not going to get into that on this
yeah.
podcast.
Like,
Yep.
how do you do like doing your taxes?
There's
Like,
something that would
there
really
should be
benefit
classes
us.
on that very early, but we don't talk about that at
Yeah.
all. And then
Oh
it's
man.
here you go. Oh, what do you mean I gotta file paperwork for the government for year?
Let alone if you want to start your own business. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, we'll just figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no guidelines. Yeah. Yeah.
No. Uh yeah, besides the school system, it does a really good job of teaching you how to be an employee. That's what the school system does.
Mhm. Mhm.
But before we get into more questions, I see you're sipping from a mug. I know you're not much
Yes.
of a beer drinker, but I'm wondering what are you working on over there?
I made so we have like a home espresso machine where it pre-grinds the beans for
Oh
you,
God, I'm so
which is
jealous.
awesome.
Yeah.
Been through a few different uh models or machines to figure out which one works best for us.
Yeah.
So we've got one, yeah, that grinds things down for you, but you can do like all kinds of presettings and things. So
Nice.
technically, I have a triple sized espresso in there, but it's a
Holy.
double, um, and then some froth milk. So it's like an aggressive latte.
Yeah, I like that. An aggressive latte. I'm gonna
Yeah,
order that next time I go to Starbucks. Yeah,
yeah,
could I get a tall aggressive latte,
yeah,
please?
yeah. There's a lot of coffee in there or espresso,
Holy.
but it's fuel. You need it. Uh,
Yep. Especially something I've come across as an entrepreneur owning my own business. It's like
mhm.
if I had staff, I would be writing off my coffee.
Yeah,
So I am writing off my coffee. I'm a designer. You don't
yeah.
understand.
The,
Like,
the amount of beans that get gone through in a week
yeah,
is it's Costco. What's going on?
yeah.
Get the
So,
big bags.
and do both you and your wife drink coffee?
Yes,
Yeah. Because my husband does not. So I can say that all the coffee I go through in the house is just me.
just you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes it a little easier.
yeah, yeah. That machine definitely gets it's definitely worth the price tag
Yeah.
for it.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, I would love one.
it's super key.
One day. One day. I'll put that on my vision board.
Yeah,
Like a homebrew espresso machine. I have a
yeah,
Nespresso, which isn't as fancy, but I gotta
that's
tell you,
pretty
it's
good.
way better than instant coffee.
Yeah, that is a pretty good one. The Nespresso is quite good.
Yep. I've been converted. And it was actually a client contractor who gave it to me as
Okay.
a gift.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, if you're gonna be designing for me, you're gonna need coffee.
Oh
And
no.
that was
I don't know if
like
that's good or bad.
3 or 4 years ago now. Well, she gave me a lot of work.
Okay.
So,
Well,
yep, and we're still good friends to this day, but the
that's good.
Nespresso machine has definitely it has some hours on it. Let's just say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So before TLC, before Fanshawe, how
Uh,
did you find this? Like, how did landscaping get its claws into you?
um, okay, this will go pretty far back.
In the
Like
beginning.
if we go like all the way back, like
Yeah.
apparently like I really like I dug a hole in my parents' yard just because like it just
Yep.
was like a kid and like I don't know like 4 or 5 and was out in the backyard always just digging a pit.
Yep.
So there was always just a dedicated area for me to just dig. Then I did it again as an adult.
Yep. You're like, oh, I still like this.
Um, and made some like outdoor thing, then had to take it down and repair the whole lawn. But I was going to school in Niagara and for health sciences, I can be a paramedic.
Yep.
And then in the like I had to do like an entry year and I didn't really like the entry year, so then I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I ended up coming back and working a summer job at a nursery in downtown Burlington because I'm from Burlington originally.
Okay.
And yeah, I just worked in a nursery, just like a wholesale or not a wholesale, a
Like a retail nursery. Yeah.
retail nursery in the middle of downtown Burlington. And I went there not knowing what a hosta was. I didn't know what anything was outside. I got stuck
Mm-hmm.
and thrown into the tropicals indoor area
Yep.
just as like the guy to like pick up the heavy plants
Yep.
and just move stuff around. And that was pretty much it. And then I annoyed my boss because I started learning all the names and short forming everything. And really, she was, she liked that I was engaged, but was getting annoyed because I'd asked too
Yeah.
many questions. So she kicked me out and told me to go outside and burn off energy and go move the trees outside. So then I started learning all the
Learning all
trees
the trees. Mm-hmm.
and learning all the shrubs and perennials. And then I ended up going back for a second summer. And then that sort of was the snowball
Wow.
starting effect of getting into this world.
It's so interesting to me, um, hearing all the different stories. And something that I keep coming back to personally is that I've always had an admiration for art,
Yeah.
whatever the form is. So
Mhm.
whether it's drawing or even game design, there was a time there where I was like, man, if I wasn't such shit with technology, I would totally get into game design.
Mhm.
And now I'm pretty much doing that, but for landscapes. So I probably could
Mhm.
have done that, but
It
um,
kind of is like that.
yeah. But it's interesting that as designers, once you start learning plants and even paving material, it's like you're building a palette,
Mhm.
and the bigger your palette, the more things you can do.
Mhm.
And that excites me. Like that is something that when I discover a new plant, house plant, outside, perennial,
Yeah.
edible, whatever, it's like, okay, I've got that locked down now. And when an opportunity comes up, I'm just gonna, whip this one out.
Yeah.
It's so great. And I'm totally hooked on plants. It's a
It
problem.
is it is pretty cool. Like when you start talking about art too, like I was I was in Fanshawe the other day or like last week actually for a sketching lecture. Sometimes
Oh,
they'll bring me
cool.
in to just do like a guest like one time spot kind of thing, come in for like 45 minutes an hour and just run through
Yeah.
some quick stuff. So I was going through some hand sketching and just how I approach a hand sketch. And when everyone was doing the exercise, Corinne actually was like, this is, because she's like, don't, she was telling her students, don't put, like, don't color mulch, like, don't render the mulch.
Yeah.
And I didn't know she said that. And I went and I told them, like, start with the mulch,
Right.
like, start at the lowest portion and build your way up. Like, yeah, go from the ground up
Yeah.
and how you layer and And then she tried it and she was like, oh, this is like a base layer of paint. Like this is like you're painting a picture and this is just
Hmm.
the base layer. Like, yeah, like you barely ever actually see the mulch when it's done, but like you see just little like sprinkle in
Yeah.
between a plant that you might have just gone not totally outside the lines on or something.
Hmm.
You end up, yeah, just with this little touch of it, but it's like that was your first marker you put down or pencil crayon or whatever.
Yep.
So it's just bringing it back to what you're saying about art. Like it is
It's
an art.
there.
It is an art form.
Absolutely. It's funny. I remember the doing sketching exercises. I'm pretty sure they were in Eli Paddle's class.
Mhm.
Um, but the very first time he did it with us, he said, okay, we have this image, and he put like a photograph up on the screen or whatever. And he's like, okay, you guys are going to have 15 minutes or 20 minutes, maybe,
Yeah,
or half an hour. I forget how
I
long it
remember.
was.
I
And we're
remember.
all, so detailed, and we're taking our time. And then he's like, okay, time's up. Now do the exact same thing again, but you only have 5 minutes. And it
Yeah,
was like, whoa, what? And you liked the 5 minute one better.
yeah.
Like it was so much more expressive and
It's
freeing just to do that.
it like it takes away the mental block and just
It does.
you just go with your gut, basically. I think that's what that exercise ended up
Mm-hmm.
unleashing.
Yep.
Because I remember doing that exercise and yeah, it's a fun exercise to do.
Absolutely. And I think it's really beneficial for anyone. I might be overstepping here. I'm just assuming because I think a lot of designers, we have maybe a little bit of type A personality slash OCD slash hyper attention to detail slash slash slash. And that
Yeah.
exercise was a great way to fight that perfectionism,
Mhm.
right? Where it's like, no, just do it. Like just do it.
Yeah, it can be messy. It's fine.
Stop overthinking. Yeah, messy is fine. Messy is
Yeah,
okay.
messy is good.
So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Um, so I do want to excuse me. Oh yeah, so I forgot to say because you're drinking coffee. I am not drinking coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. What
I
do you got
if
over
I
there?
drink coffee now, this late in the day, I won't sleep tonight. But I have a Collective Arts IPA number one. It's a limited release, but I'm always loving their can art. So
Yeah.
this artist is actually from the UK, and all
Cool.
their cans are different. Even, if I was to find this IPA number one beer again,
Mhm.
likely the art would be different. So I think that's quite appropriate talking about art. So Collective
Yep.
Arts, way to go. Collecting art from around the world and putting on your cans. Super cool. Um, so what I did want to do is I'm going to try and do something here if I can. So some people listen on Spotify, and so they're not watching the video.
Yep.
But there are places online where you can see the video. So eventually, this will be put on my website. You will also have, as John, not the listeners, but John,
Yeah.
you'll have access to the video to post or use however you like.
Cool.
But for those watching, I do actually want to share my screen here because one of your um, designs is truly inspiring to me because
Okay. I have
it's
no idea where this is going.
yeah, you do. So I think, John, can you see this? Because if you can
Yes, I
see this,
can.
then
Yeah.
everybody else can see it. I've got two screens, so I'm never sure. It's like, am I sharing the right thing?
Yeah.
But your own backyard. So I've got a picture up now. This is the before picture, or one of the many before pictures. Um, but when did you move into this place? So this is it's a picture for those who aren't watching. It's just got a wooden shed in the back. It's all grass and wood fence along other sides backyard. So when did you move in, and what did you move into here?
Let's see, moved in like 7 years ago.
Okay.
Um, what I inherited at the time was basically what you see there. That deck did have it actually had railings on it at first on the
Yeah.
sides, and it was terrible. And I didn't need them because it's too low, but it had railings.
It looks like maybe 7 or 8 inches off the ground.
Yeah, it's
At
like a
least.
foot max. Like yeah, it really didn't need to be there. And then there's a grapevine that's attached to that fence that is still there. It's
Hard to
still,
get rid of.
yeah, didn't get rid of it. No, I embraced it.
Yep.
It's like
It's
no,
easier than trying to
no,
get rid of it.
let's just keep it. but yeah, like that shed is like I'm in it right now, but that was the original look of the shed. And the stuff that you don't see in this image is actually the grading of the lot. Um, I got a nice surprise when I went to go take the deck down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it actually drops 2 feet to the house right underneath the deck.
Whoa.
So the entire back half of the yard actually had to be lifted up 2 feet because it just drops off. Like there's just a huge drop off to
Wow.
like the window well that's there super low. And yeah, it was a nice surprise when I opened this thing up to be like, all right, let's do some work on
Yep.
this space. And
How often do we run into that? I mean, personally, I
oh,
kind of like the excitement. I get bored easily, but you can
it's
plan for everything.
it's fun. It was fine because it was my own space.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, good thing I know that this is here. I can address it. I know how to address it,
Yeah.
but not everybody would,
Mm-hmm.
or you'd have to be calling someone, be like, come fix this because I don't know what to do. And
Yeah.
luckily, I know what I'm doing. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, but that was like before I could do anything to this yard. Yeah, I did flip the grade, and also I don't know if it's in one of the pictures, but when I started planting, I planted in the grass. I didn't actually like remove the grass right away. I just
Yep.
started putting plants in because I wanted the garden to like, I did it reverse. Instead of doing the hardscape stuff first and then planting, I
Yep.
planted first and then did the hardscaping.
Nice.
Yeah. My wife and girlfriend at the time thought I was absolutely insane. Really had no idea what I was doing. She's like, this doesn't make sense. You're putting plants in grass. I'm
Yep.
going to go with it, but I don't know what you're doing.
And so from start to finish, the installation was 2 years, like
Yeah,
over 2 summers.
over 2 summers and worked on it throughout the fall and winter, especially for the shed.
Yep.
Uh, that was some winter work I did with. Well, a lot of this ended up, yeah, I did a big chunk myself, but um, one day my father-in-law was helping with my dad, and then my dad did help with a lot of this to
Mm-hmm.
get it buttoned up in the second summer because it was like, all right, when's this thing going to get done?
Yeah.
You call me when you need help. Let's go get it. Let's get it done. So
It's so cool to think from this picture, here's a little, garden shed, and then how you've transformed it. And that is actually where you are sitting today recording this podcast episode.
yes, I am sitting like basically in that weird looking shed,
Yeah.
the equivalent of where one of the doors is, just further back towards the fence.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go right to an after picture.
Yeah.
For those who are not watching and they're just listening, I have to tell you, you are missing out because like right away, you can see the beautiful I want to say polygonum, but not Jacob's ladder. Oh my gosh.
Solomon seal.
Thank you, Solomon seal.
Yep.
My brain just totally stopped working.
Oh,
The Hakonakloa grass and the large hostas. Are these blue stem grasses?
those are Carl Forster's actually.
They are Carl Forster's, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So way to combine, naturalistic with cultivars and
Yeah. There's a bunch of random, they're randomized for sure. There's a couple avalanche in there too.
Okay. So, and I got to ask you because not everyone knows this about me, but I have a few things I'm quite obsessed about, and one of them is boardwalks.
Okay.
So when I saw this picture for the first time, I was like, this is my dream backyard. When I think about what my place is going to be, it's like, oh, somebody's already done it. Well, shit, I gotta, quickly catch up. Can you tell me, so why boardwalks? What is it with you and or why the decision? Do they excite you as much as they excite me? Is really what I want to get at.
I don't know. They're just like they're little laneways, they're little pathways. Like I
Yeah.
didn't want any grass in the yard.
Neither
I
do
wanted it to
I.
be purely gardens.
Yeah.
So to me, the easiest way to get from space to space was doing things out of lumber instead of like I could have done it out of stone, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the money for stone.
Yep.
And like a lot of this stuff was all done it was during COVID. So
Wow.
all the lumber was bought like not all of it, but like because we had the lumber shortage. So
Yeah.
chunk, I'd say like 90% of the deck boards were bought on Facebook Marketplace.
I love
Yeah.
that. So you used like reclaimed materials. It was
Yeah,
because of budget, but
budget for
talk about
sure.
sustainability and the way this looks. Like this is
Like and like I'd say like 80 or 75% of the plants are reused from other gardens
wow.
or like we did buy some for
Yep.
sure. But a lot of this is yeah, like reused materials or yeah, recycled stuff.
Wow.
The shed cladding is all like reused skid boards, like skid lumber.
Wow.
That somebody had on Marketplace that was just
Yep.
pretty broken down. I was like, okay, cool.
Perfect.
They're like $10 bundles, great. I can glide the shed for a couple $100 and
Yeah.
that's it.
Oh my gosh.
There's definitely some splurge items in there.
Yep.
Like window and sliding door is a splurge item for sure.
But must haves. And
But
that is a great
that's
big window.
that's the view that I get when I sit in the studio. I get to look at
That's
the
awesome.
garden and be in greenery all the time. So
I don't know if you can see, but let's see if I can pick this up and not throw my camera. There's my view. It's nothing. It's the top of a blue spruce
yeah,
in my front
at
yard.
least at least you get to see some plants.
I do. I get to see the top
Yeah,
bit of a blue spruce that has
yeah,
canker. So it has to come down. That's okay. It'll make room for more garden.
yeah. Uh,
Um,
but yeah, boardwalks. I don't know. It's just it seemed like you need walkways and pathways to get from
yeah.
space to space, and it helped zone everything. So you get each like
Yeah.
outdoor room. Because there's the dining area you can see in that back to
Yep.
like the left or whatever, but then there's on the other side of the studio, there's a fire pit lounge.
So cool.
And when you enter on the other side of like on the other side of the house or like the yard is like a kitchen area and like yeah. So there's a bunch of
So
different
cool.
zones. So that using the boardwalks made it easy to kind of zone things off like that.
And then some of these, I'm trying to see, are these, do you have bamboo in your garden?
Yes,
Wow. How's that work for you? Is that a beast?
they're awesome.
But this looks like it's mostly shade or shade-ish, so maybe it doesn't get too crazy.
Um, so I don't know, the garden is really strange. Like the lighting is really strange because there's a mix of like shade loving plants and sun loving plants
Yep.
in the whole like every garden pocket, and
Yep.
they all seem to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit of an anomaly to me that like the shade ones are doing well and sun ones are doing well when it's I don't know. I guess it's a
Sunny.
perfect mix of sun and shade in the yard,
Yep.
but it's
Hmm.
it's more sunny than shady most
Okay.
days. But then, yeah, I guess it just works. But yeah, the bamboo was a total experiment. That like I told, I'm pretty sure you know Jake at Baseline.
Yep.
Yeah, so like I just texted him one day and said, "Hey man, like I'm looking at doing an experiment in my yard. I'm gonna, can you give me some bamboo? I need three of them,
Yep.
and it's just the red panda bamboo.
Okay.
Um, I picked that one because it's like well, it's hardy here, but it's also like it's not supposed to spread nearly as much as others.
Right.
It's kind of keeps its form. So I tried those and was like, all right, if they live, they live.
Yep.
So I did zero care for them in the first winter. I just let the snow just flop all over it and crush
Yep.
them. But then the springtime they popped back up and they were
Just
thriving.
fine. Huh.
All right, so I guess they're staying, and now they are 6 feet around, 7-ish feet tall.
Holy.
They're monsters, and it's super awesome.
Yeah. I love how plants always surprise us. As much as we build our palette and we keep learning new plants and whatnot, plants have a way of surprising us. And
Yeah,
there's always new, I mean, there's new cultivars and new things coming up, but also plants do new things that you're like, oh, I
yeah,
didn't know you could do that or live here. So,
yeah. I I have to mention this because you mentioned the solid seal. Uh, that all that solid seal actually came from my grandma's garden, but originally came from my grandma's garden, but then it was in my parents' front yard,
yeah,
and I thinned out their Solomon seal and took it. So like the actual Solomon seal that's there is like 80 years old.
I love how plants can have a story.
Like they're super old plants, but they are still kicking and thriving.
And what a cool thing, like that it's like it came from your grandmother's
Yeah,
garden, then it was in your parents, and now it's in yours.
yeah,
Like that's to me, I don't know if it's romantic or what, but I love that idea and that connection that we can have. It's not just connecting people outside, so that they can eat at a picnic table. It's
yeah,
like plants can carry a story with them.
for sure.
And it's something that really inspired me to start my business because I was seeing, and I still see a lot of contractors come in. They're sitting down with a homeowner and they say, you know what, we got to start from scratch. We got to
Yeah,
just take everything out and we
yeah,
got to start from scratch because this is a mess. And they don't take into account that some of these plants have been passed down from generation to generation,
yeah,
or their aunt brought it up from Illinois, and like there's stories here. You can't just come in and bulldoze everything.
yeah. There's value to each plant.
Yeah, and I know it takes more time and it can be costly, and we can't guarantee transplants, right? There's no
Yeah,
warranty,
yeah,
but we can try and we can do our best to save some of these hostas or heirloom plants that don't always, peonies aren't necessarily easy to transplant, but if you get a big enough bucket,
yeah.
you can dig it out and keep it.
Something's gonna take when it goes back in the ground.
Yeah, it might be much smaller,
Yeah,
but
but something's gonna grab.
yeah. So aside from your own backyard, which again, kudos to you, because the fact that you designed this, I love that there's no lawn. I love the boardwalk, your plant selection, the amount of texture that you've captured amongst the different planting material. Just freaking nailed it, which I'm sure you already know, but I just wanted to say again.
Thanks.
So, and the other thing that I wanted to bring up is this one here. So TLC, but let's be real, TLC didn't win. You did. The Neil Vanderkruck Award for Excellence in Design 2024.
Yeah.
For this design here, Inside Out. And I couldn't find the video, but I did watch at the LO Awards. I saw the video that they put up.
Yeah.
And can you just give, so anybody who's watching, they can see the picture. But for anybody who's not watching and they can't see the image, can you kind of describe this project for us?
Yeah, so it's situated on like a wooded lot in a residential area in Paris. Um,
Paris, Ontario, right?
yes, Paris, Ontario, not Paris,
Oh,
but
did TLC pay you to go across the pond?
oh, that would have been awesome.
Wouldn't it? One day, John. One day.
Yeah, one day I'll have clients that live on the
Yeah.
other side.
Paris, Ontario, Canada. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, wooded lot. They had an old kind of decrepit three-tiered decking system that just really wasn't working for them. They wanted everything one level. They needed more usability and they wanted it to be bigger and they wanted a 3-season room. That was kind of like the big requirements. Also, no railings. That was a challenge. So so kind of the 3-season room was kind of the starting point of this. And then that just sort of worked its way over to the kitchen area, just keeping things kind of one level for all of that. And then they got some young kids that are pretty adventurous. So having that kind of boardwalk hammock area mixed into some planting, kind of makes you feel like you're in a mini forest before you're in the real forest that they're situated in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the gist of what they were looking for. And then yeah, it's a lot of sketching and messing around with ideas to come up
Mm-hmm.
with where everything would sit and work, but it
Very
seemed
cool. And a very prestigious
okay.
award.
Yeah. I was pretty shocked when they call out the name and all right, you're the winner. Like, oh, okay. That
Oh.
did not think that was going to be a thing. It's a competitive industry, and
Mm-hmm.
those the landscape awards are just getting tougher and tougher each year. So
Yeah, they
it's
did recently kind
pretty
of
cool.
revamp some of their stuff about
Yeah,
how to win
yeah,
and whatnot. But I will say, like, so I love watching the LO Awards from the comfort of my hotel room because I'm there at Congress for the week, so I'm in a hotel.
yeah.
But I'm not sure if you saw the pictures on Instagram, but I love being in my pajamas and I've got my glass of wine and usually
Yeah.
pickles or crackers or cheese or something like that. But it's just me and the TV. And then when I see people, I can
Hmm.
like scream and get crazy and celebrate and not worry about people judging me. Right.
Yep.
Because if I'm in that
Yep.
big LO Awards room and I do a happy dance, I get a couple looks. But
Ah,
I was really happy for you seeing that one win. I think over the years,
thanks.
just seeing all these awards, and it's my own personal opinion, but I see a lot of pools. I see a lot of modern contemporary. I see a lot of concrete. I see a lot of
Yeah.
hardscaping. And to me, a lot of the designs that have been predominantly winning over the years, to me, appear to be cold. It appears to be something that
Yeah.
someone has designed and installed so it looks good in a magazine, not to
Mhm.
live in, not to share the space with your family and have those warm moments and create those memories. And when I saw your design up there, I'm like, that's a place I can see myself. I can see myself in that hammock,
Mhm.
sipping a glass of wine, surrounded by the
Yeah.
forest and the plants, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I
kudos.
I would agree with your with your comments on how some of those designs and construction projects are geared more towards a hardscape kind of thing, or they have a perfect house in the background. So let's just that's a way to make the project look nicer
Yep.
than maybe what it actually is
Yep.
in a way. I know
Or you
they're
see
all supposed to be
designs and
nice and
there's,
they function and they work, but
yeah, there's been
yeah,
a few designs where there's,
yeah,
these
we're on the
this
same.
beautiful sunset on a lake in their backyard. It's like you didn't design that. It makes the picture look great.
Yeah,
But or there's mountains
yeah,
or it's
you
like,
the
okay, so
perfect
you got the great
backdrop.
location. Yeah. In design we call it
Yeah,
borrowed
you have the perfect
views.
backdrop, but yeah, the borrowed landscape. Yeah.
Yeah.
This but yeah, looking at the actual design, does the actual design work or does it just look that much nicer because you have this awesome backdrop? And
Yeah.
yeah, we're on the same page there.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. So there was lots of other things that I'm sure we could talk about. I know that are there's probably lots of different plants that you like, and I can tell just from looking at the design of your own backyard, right? Um, but one thing I did want to kind of pick your brain a little bit about because I
Mhm.
think it applies to people in landscaping at different levels, right? Whether
Yep.
you're somebody as a foreman or you're a crew member cutting grass, or you're a designer with a company, or you're an entrepreneur, if you own your own business, maybe you're a CEO. Excuse me, is this you mentioned in the questionnaire about kind of this balance between all of the duties that we do as designers, and keeping everybody happy, but then also juggling life. Like there's this work life sort of
Mhm.
balance where there's so many different aspects of a design, right? And you're talking to contractors and you're getting information and all this stuff. Um, but trying to grind things out, right? Like
Yeah.
create sometimes the creative juices aren't necessarily flowing. And so you
Yep.
need to, I mean, having a great outdoor studio certainly helps, I'm sure. right? Space definitely matters.
It definitely does. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's the old, like an older trick of just like take a step back. And that sounds weird, but it's like if you're staring at something for so long and nothing's coming to you, then go do something. Go do something
Yep.
else.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of shut off, but you're not really shutting off. You're just going and doing something else, trying to get your brain to think about something different
Yep.
or something that's not related to landscaping at all or design at all. And then you be surprised how much stuff actually gets into your head of like, oh, well, there's the idea. There it is. I found it. But
Mm-hmm.
it's that willingness to step away from it.
Couldn't have said it better
It's
myself.
tough, but
That is a great piece of
yeah.
advice. It does not matter what position you're in or what duties you're doing, but if you're getting frustrated or you're hitting a wall and you're not making progress, that's only going to stress you out more, and you're losing energy by doing that. So take a step back, unplug, right?
Yeah.
For me personally, I've actually started listening to a couple of podcasts, which is
Hmm.
funny because here I am hosting one, but I'm
Yeah.
not much of actually a podcast listener,
Okay.
because I tend to my brain is so hyper reactive that I can't even focus on a podcast.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? When I'm here, I'm engaging with you, like, and you as the guest. It's easy for me to have a
Yeah.
conversation with you and give you my attention. But when I'm
Mhm.
listening to a podcast, I'm like, oh, maybe I could do this at the same time. And then suddenly I'm
Yeah.
in another room doing something. It's like, oh, that podcast is still playing. Whoops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, there's a couple I've started tuning into where if I need to unplug and if I need to walk away, I turn on an
Mhm.
episode and give myself permission to have that 20 minutes or 30 minutes to just not think or worry about the things that I think and worry about,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's hard.
It's hard, but it can be really key to yeah getting your real thoughts out
Yeah,
when it comes down to it.
you got to do it. You got to do it because
Yeah. Yeah.
nobody can be on all the time, right?
No. That's what I find is probably the most mentally taxing thing of my job
Right.
is the amount of on time that goes on. It's like my downtime is like driving from appointment to appointment.
Right.
And even sometimes that it's not even downtime because you're on the phone talking to a crew member, or you're talking to the guys, or you're talking to somebody, or you're talking to another client.
Or your brain is overthinking
It's
the conversations you just
just
had and
racing.
you're preparing for the conversation you're about to have, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So like, yeah, hyping yourself up to be on again once you park. You go,
Yep.
okay, I got another meeting. I'm gonna be in there for 2 hours. Okay, you're gonna be on for 2 hours. All right, get psyched,
Yep.
get in there and go.
Mm-hmm.
You do that for a 10-hour day, 5 days a week. It gets tiring by Friday.
Yeah.
You're mentally exhausted.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so interesting because I mean, lots of different positions, not necessarily in landscaping, but I know as designers, when we're on, it's not just that we're having a conversation with you as the homeowner or the client, but we're also thinking about all of the things that you've just told me about your property. I'm also
Mhm.
seeing some ideas of the potential of your property. Then I'm thinking about the bylaws. Then I'm thinking about which materials are available. Then I'm wondering about your timeline, and I'm going to juggle your budget.
Mhm.
And there's all these things that even on our downtime, this is something that I'm still currently struggling with, is not thinking or analyzing during my downtime.
Yeah.
Because I'll find I'm just seated on the couch. Usually I've got a beer, right? Or a rum
Yep.
before bed, chilling with the hubby, watching
Yep.
some TV. And somebody in the show will say or do something. And it triggers my mind to be like, oh, you know what? That's a cool idea. And I go on this whole
Yeah.
tangent. And as creatives, I think that happens a
Yeah.
lot. Even when we're
It does.
unplugged, we're not unplugged.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's just, okay, if it's a really good idea, it's going to stay in my head so I don't write it down.
Yep.
That's how I kind of treat like if it's a good idea or not. Like
It's a good way
instead
to do
of
it.
writing it down, I gotta get out a pen and paper, or I
Mm-hmm.
gotta write it in my notes in my phone. It's just no. If this is a good enough idea,
I'll
I'll
remember it.
remember it
Mm-hmm.
when it's time to draw or whatever. And then yeah, it just sort of keeps you still removed, even though you're still like in your head, you're like, I'm still going, but it
Yeah.
doesn't take you out of the moment of whatever show or thing that you're
Yep. Whatever you're
doing.
doing.
That's time.
Yep.
So yeah.
It kind of brings us back to
Yeah,
what you
but
said
yeah,
earlier,
it's
right? When I said, so people who don't know you, John, who are you and what is it that you do? And you're like, well, I'm a landscape designer. And it's through
yeah,
and through. It's just like you said, like it's even when you're not clocked in, right? Doing the
yeah.
9 to 5, our brains don't stop.
It's pretty yeah, it is nonstop. Like, and it's not even like I don't know. I say landscape designer, but I would say just designer
Yep.
in general
Mm-hmm.
because like I do a lot of stuff for my own house that's
Mm-hmm.
interior stuff and um, just yeah. There's always some kind of design going on, whether it's like I'm designing a side table for
Right.
our or a coffee table or something like that. It goes beyond the landscape side of things. It goes inside as well, or yeah. So even the interior of our house is different than most people's homes. So
Love that.
yeah, the design doesn't stop.
Awesome. So, John, we're
Yeah,
just coming up to end of time here. We're a little bit over. But last thing I want to ask you is
yeah,
maybe if you could
yeah.
share some, I want to say like coping mechanisms that maybe something that you implement or something you do. Like, are you somebody who goes to the gym? Or I know you have a passion for art as well. So, like, do you paint or draw or doodle or any of these things during those times where you really need to unplug and quiet the brain a bit?
Uh, it would be the gym.
Yep.
Yeah, it used to be like, oh yeah, I would do a lot of drawing or sketching that wasn't landscape related. Like I used to draw a lot of comic book characters
Yeah.
and like use pencil crayons for hours and hours just to like get locked in to do some really detailed drawing with pencil crayon.
Mm-hmm.
But haven't done that in years. It's tough to do that now with a kid too.
Yep.
He's all over the place, so it's tough to get downtime like that. So the gym is basically the release for okay, just shut off, just go lift something heavy, just to just to do something that's
Yeah.
gonna burn some energy off and just yeah, you can just kind of shut down for a minute and not think about anything.
Right. I know my brother's very
So
much the
that
same.
would be the coping as a method for everyone.
Yeah. And do you use a home gym
Yeah.
or do you go out to a gym?
I have a home gym. We both used to have memberships at different places, and then we went to the same place, and then it's like, you know what? Let's just go back to the home gym life.
Yep.
So I took our the one room that we had and
Designed
went
it.
into SketchUp, designed it,
Yeah.
built a like a custom shelving unit to store treadmill, all the weights, all the different like
Awesome.
medicine balls or like yoga stuff or
Hmm.
any of that stuff. It's all set to one side. It's all in one wall. So then the whole room is open to do whatever you want to do. You just pick it off the wall and kind of
Nice.
drop it in and pick whatever workout you want to do.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
very cool. I wish I had
Yeah.
a indoor gym, but as we say with designers, we never stop designing. So I've designed the
Yep.
basement 4 times now because we've had
Oh,
4 floods.
ooh.
So I designed it, installed,
Yeah.
like almost got it done installed, and then it flooded. And I was like, well, I'm just going to take this as an opportunity to redesign it. And we're now at the point now
Yeah.
where our brand new flooring was just torn up and needs to be put into a
Oh
dumpster, and
no.
I can design it again.
So this is round five?
I'm losing track.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a bit of a sore spot for me, John. Okay, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have to dive into that. It's okay.
Yeah. So ending on a high note. John, it's been absolutely great getting to know you a little bit better, talking shop, hearing about your designs and your origin story. Yeah. You mentioned comic books, and I do think us as a little bit of horticultural heroes, if you will. So it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah. I can get on board with that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, spread the word. Keep shining. I'm sure I'm going to see you around.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Cheers, John.
Yeah. See ya.
That concludes this week's episode, hosted by me, Heather Gerard at My Landscape Artist. Now, before you go, here's some info about our sponsor, ext.tech. In today's fast-paced world, your landscaping business needs modern solutions to keep up with the change. That's where EXT comes in. EXT is revolutionizing the way you manage projects and streamlines your landscaping, snow removal, and construction operations. Instead of juggling 5 different software packages, endless spreadsheets, losing track of leads, and missing out on potential sales, you could be leveraging AI job routing, client management, and financial insights with a modern mobile app that employees love to use. With EXT's flat rate pricing, you'll never be caught off guard. If you're ready to revolutionize and grow your landscaping business, visit ext.tech today to learn more. And for additional savings, use the code HOPS10 at checkout, or just tell them that Heather sent you. See you next week for another episode of Hops and Hedges.